The Hog Rider is the most iconic troop in all of Clash history. Having been in the game for over a decade, it's one of the biggest IP assets that Supercell owns. Show a picture of a Hog Rider to anyone under the age of 50 and I guarantee they'll at least say that they've seen it before. I mean, it's literally been memed more times than I can count and it's still not even dead. One of the OG Dark Elixir troops, it was released all the way back in 2013, being added with the addition of the Dark Elixir barracks along with the Minion and the Valkyrie. Far from what they are today, Hog Riders were a completely different troop. On first release, they actually didn't even have a target preference and would just attack whatever was closest to them, making the whole jumpy over wall things a bit of a gimmick. And with their rapid movement speed, when they did jump into the base, they were always so far ahead of the support troops that they died before the other troops had a chance to help. The only two troops capable of synergizing with the Hogs at the time was the Minion and the Healer. But this army was still weak and needed a skilled player to properly utilize this attack. With dragons being insanely strong back in 2013, they were preferred a lot more by the players at the time, leaving the Hog Riders to be somewhat left in the dark. That is until August 27th, 2013, when the Hog Riders were buffed massively, now targeting defenses and doing a bit of extra damage. But what we're really after here is the defense targeting, which allowed Hog Riders to clear out the buildings that were actually dealing them damage before anything else, meaning that they could run through bases so much easier. This change gave birth to the first proper Hog Rider meta, paired with wizards which would target the other buildings and help out with the defenses, dishing out ridiculous amounts of damage. This strategy was definitely overpowered, which led way to the Hogs being nerfed 3 times in just 4 short months. September 30th of 2013, Supercell released a nerf to combat the effectiveness of the Hogs, decreasing the hit points of the Hogs at all levels, but clearly that wasn't enough because about a month later their health was nerfed once again. The next balance change came about 2 months later in January of 2014, increasing the Dark Elixir cost of the Hogs, making them much more expensive to train. But the HP decrease was the biggest deal, making them much easier to be blown up by giant bombs, which was already their biggest weakness considering they usually traveled in groups. This was made even worse with Supercell making it so giant bombs did 150% damage to Hog Riders specifically. With players utilizing double giant bombs, it could pretty much wipe out your whole army in an instant, without any time to use healers or a heal spell to help them recover. Now Supercell had a bit of a problem, because all these nerfs made the Hog Riders completely trash, giant bombs were just too strong, and strategies using Hogs dwindled. It took them quite a bit of time to address this issue, with the next major balance change to the Hogs arriving 2 years later in October of 2016, with the giant bomb damage multiplier to the Hogs was completely removed, making it so the Hogs were pretty much back to where they were, apart from one key difference. This boy was added into the game, and for the same reasons the giant bomb was so effective against Hogs, the same applies to the bomb tower. With the de facto giant bomb dropping on its death and its splash damage, it was just so strong against the Hogs. Plus, with the addition of Town Hall 11 earlier that year, and with it the Eagle Artillery dealing huge splash damage anywhere on the map, it made Hogs at Town Hall 11 pretty darn weak. But over the coming years, Supercell would buff the hit points of the Hogs at Town Hall 10 and 11, making them a lot stronger as we started to see them creep back into the meta with a different strategy. Mass Hogs wouldn't work well at all at the higher levels, but the Hogs were being used in a completely different way, being paired with Queen Charges and other troops. Today, Hogs are used by some of the top players in the world, especially with the addition of Super Troops and the Super Hog Rider, which is actually the only troop in the game to split into 2 different troops upon death. We see regular Hogs and the Super Hogs synergizing very well together, especially with a Queen Charge to funnel into the base, with hybrid attacks like this proving to be really strong even at the later Town Hall levels. There it is, the rise and fall of the mighty Hog Rider. If you enjoyed watching, go ahead and click that subscribe and like button. I'll catch you guys next time.